Hi, welcome to a run-through of all the various comics, books, Blu-rays and omnibuses and various things that I bought this week. I went to the London Comic Mart. Absolutely great. That was on the 5th of October, or probably 6th, one of those. Absolutely superb. Looking forward to the December one as well. Always enjoy those. So it was great chatting with Nick and lots of other people there. And it was just great going, rummaging for all the various comics. I didn't buy a vast amount, but the ones I bought, I'm very pleased with. So let's just go through it. This one is giant-sized Defenders. Now, I've got a few other giant-sized ones, and I'm really looking forward to an omnibus edition that's coming out, I think, about April 2025, I think. Well, I picked this one up just purely because I thought, you know what, let's just buy another giant-sized. And there was a pile of giant-sized, and I could have bought a few more. But this one was one I particularly loved when it came out at the time. Guardians of the Galaxy and the Defenders. Really good little story. You can see there, see Nighthawk, and of course all the other Guardians. Slightly different, of course. There's no Rocket and all those sort of people in the comic, but it's just great. Of course, you've got the Hulk, Doctor Strange, and many others as well. And also another story there, which is really good, of Daredevil. Well, that one was brilliant. Also, this one. I love these ones. Marvel Collector's Item Classics. I know that many people say, well, you've got them already. I have, in epics or omnibuses. But I haven't got the originals in most cases. And these ones, the closest you're probably going to get to the originals, because of course Marvel now, when they restore them, restructure them, clean them up and all that sort of stuff, recolour them, well, these at least are sort of like the originals. And I think they're just great, really. Now, I haven't got the originals to compare them, so maybe there are subtle changes. Certain people say, oh no, it's slightly bluer or slightly... Of course, when it gets printed, there's going to be slight changes anyway, depending on the time, etc. when it's printed. But you still got great stories. Molecule Man, of course, in that one. And, of course, you've got the Unicorn as well. Loved the Unicorn character. Didn't... he wasn't the world's greatest villain, but I always enjoyed when his appearances. So you got the Unicorn, and what's the next one? Oh, you've got the good old Loki story there, and Doctor Strange. Now, weirdly, I think this one did not appear in the UK when it was in black and white in, obviously, Spider-Man Weekly. Don't know why they didn't put that one. Maybe it would be too confusing, but that's always the way, because Doctor Strange probably hadn't appeared by that point. You got Hulk Strikes, Mustn't Let Them Find Me. Now, that's a very early Hulk story, of course. I love it. It says, courtesy of Zenith Publications Corp. I always love that bit when they put those sort of things. Very strange. And, of course, you've got there the Hulk there, the Gamma Rays, and Rick Jones there. Splat as he wipes out. They're great. Again, closest you're probably ever going to get unless you buy the original comics. And many of these are quite expensive. Bought this one at Forbidden Planet. I was going to say, gosh, but it wasn't Forbidden. It was Forbidden Planet. They also had back issue as well. I was quite tempted to some of the back issues, but their price, £10. Well, it was £10. It was $10.95, obviously dollars, but it was £10 in $9.99 or something like that. It's a Jungle comic. Now, I bought this also in digital. I've completely forgotten. Bought it in digital, and now, of course, I got it in the physical as well. But still, I love Jungle comics, so I was really pleased to get it anyway. So it was one of those ones that I thought, Also, there's another one coming out, Cryptology. Now, I'm quite looking forward to that one, so that should be great. And also, you've got lots and lots there. Obviously, of all the various Jungle ones, obviously Tarzan, Sheena. You've also got Camilla. There's loads of Voodoo, Cave Girl. There was a lot, Lorna, and Kazar, or Kazar. However, so you got there the Adventures of the Great, and also, of course, the Pulp ones, because that was original Pulp ones, and loads of others. You got JoJo there, Samad, something Voodoo again, turns up Sheen, Jungle Comics, and many, many others. And of course, they have other articles in here as well. But it's great. You've got Flyman there, of course, there. Love that. That's just great. And of course, at the back, you've got this section there about Fawcett. They continue to have these. I think it's just great because Fawcett, for some weird reason, seems to have always about 3 or 4 pages at the end of Alter Ego. Never understand that. Now, I've got this on order. This technically was going to be coming this week sometime. It didn't appear. I don't know why. Hopefully it will appear. If not, I'm going to get another copy sent to me because I'm really looking forward to this one, Marvel Comics in the early 1960s, and that's from tomorrow. Now, I haven't ordered that one. Zowie, not certain I'm really interested in that one. That was great. Comic book implosion. Thoroughly enjoyable. And of course, you've got the usual at the back there, a list of all the various ones that they're bringing out, and also some more at the back there. New from tomorrow, as it says there. That one sounds quite good. Superhero shortage. Also, the Superman one there sounds really good. and also some of the others as well, back issues ones, etc. Doc Savage. Now, this is quite a slightly, and when I bought it, I hadn't noticed it actually. It was one of those ones like, I thought Doc Strange, issue 1. They had a nice quality copy. I didn't buy that because it was a lot more expensive. This one was there, it was slightly cheaper, but I didn't actually notice it was quite mottled and there's a bit of rust there as well. Still, just great to have an issue 1. I love Doc Savage. Got 3 issues of Doc Savage. They're great stories. I've also, of course, got the Dynamite massive volume, as well as some of the black and white ones that Marvel brought out, and also lots of course, various pulp reprints and other information about Doc Savage. I thoroughly enjoy those stories. Absolutely brilliant. You've got there the story there of Doc Savage, and some more from Doc Savage there. Unfortunately, Marvel or anyone, no one seems to have brought out reprints of this. I would love to see an omnibus collection of Doc Savage, and it just reminded me that was another one that would have been really nice if they had with omnibus editions, because I just did a run through of all the omnibuses. I thought, it'd be nice to have Doc Savage. Completely forgot about him. How come? Pleased to pick this one. Daredevil. Here Comes Daredevil. Never called it that, but that's, I guess, the title. Here Comes Daredevil. King Size Special. Issue 1. Electro, and now obviously this is like Sinister Six, sort of, same sort of thing. But you've got Leapfrog, you haven't got any Doc Ock or anything. You've got Electro there, and of course Gladiator, obviously, and Matador and Stiltman. I'm surprised they didn't include a few other characters as well, but I guess that really does cover the major characters of Daredevil at that point. I really love Daredevil stories, and this one was just great. I really thoroughly enjoyed Electro. When they all battle together, I always felt the Sinister Six should have done that as well, but they didn't do that. They split it into separate story-like adventures all the way through it. And of course, but the artwork is just superb in this. Absolutely superb. But there's also the stories when they battle. I mean, some of the time, obviously, it's separate, but there's also a bit of a conflict at the end when they all sort of start getting in the way. And all this at various parts. And of course, Daredevil can handle himself quite easily in there. He's obviously Matador thinking. It's a great little issue. And also, what I also love about this is got this lovely selection, an explanation. You can't beat that sort of thing. An explanation, giving a bit of explanation about all the various characters. And also, of course, see some pin-ups as well. I can't remember if, I don't think those ones were included in the pin-up book. They might have been. Hope so. But that one there, of course, Kazar again, if I got his name wrong, always do. And the Gladiator. So you've got a few pin-ups. Now, I'm certain they weren't included. Leapfrog, the ominous owl. Why wasn't the owl included? Or was he in prison at that point? I don't know. But perhaps and the Masked Marauder. They could have brought the Masked Marauder back. He could have turned up. Oh no, he's dead. Yes. Came closest to learning the truth of his dramatic death. Well, maybe he had a sidekick called the Masked Marauder as well. And then you got that, which I think the Billy Club was great. And this, I really love this one. At the stroke of midnight, just great little snow there. He's just obviously going off to try and get the work. And of course, you got there Stan doing his all round, just a great little magazine. And I got this for £5, which I think is a reasonable price for a real classic. Though I didn't get it for 1 and 9, which would have been even nicer. 25 cents, of course, back in the day. This one, I always pick these up quite often. I mean, I've got a vast amount of these things, but I did have quite a lot of these, way too many of them. My garage was full of these ones, and it's just the Inhuman Strike. And this was issue 59, all the way back from 1973. I loved these ones. Now, I started from issue 1 all the way through, just thoroughly enjoyed these. And I always love the fact they always change, tweak things. You can definitely see, look at the difference there. Maximus does. The evil Maximus does. What? I don't know. But it's just a weird way. They often had those titles as well. Didn't really make much sense most of the time. Just stick various things in there. And because, of course, they split it over 2 or 3, whatever, stories, comics. But I love the black and white artwork. I will always love the black and white ones. They're just great. Absolutely brilliant. And also, it's quite obviously slightly oversized as well, which I always think sometimes it's great. This one is not so great. It's a bit harder to see. Sometimes you get really super sharp ones in these comics. Some really, really good quality ones. Not every time, though. And then you've got this one here, Booby Trap. I always love the fact they include that along the top. At the stroke of midnight, a showdown. Yes, I guess they were. Obviously, you got the red ghost there. And obviously his apes, I should say. And also, of course, I always liked the old apes, whatever they're called. The apes. Red Ghost and the Apes. There he is. Of course, the Red Ghost. And then you've got an advert at the back. Fantastic free badges. And that was, what was the one? Super Moose and Fudge, apparently. Martin Chivers, Alan Clark, Bobby Moore, Kevin King, Rodney Marsh, all of those people. Won't mention a certain person there, but Sweet, Donny Osmond, Dave, and so on. So, on to the next one. Absolutely brilliant, terrific. I've only got one other issue of this, I think. I've got a few more Fantastics, I think, as well. But this one is just great. I've got issue 1, and this is issue 36. Of course, we had Doctor Strange. Enter Kaloo! And Kaloo is on the back as well. A Kaloo. Maybe that's what they were aiming for. I don't know. But they always had great names. Doctor Strange, of course. And then, weirdly, they had Ant-Man and Giant Man. Well, I should say they had the Giant Man stories. I don't think they ever did the Ant-Man stories. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm quite certain that was the case. But they're on the trail of the Amazing Spider-Man. And again, I love the black and white. Really, really nice and sharp. Really good. And the thing about these, compared with some of the other ones like Pow, Wham, etc., they always tweaked around with the panels. They always messed around with it. In this, I think they were reasonably good. Not maybe every time, but certainly most of the time, you didn't have any messing around. So you had the panels as, of course, the original comics. And that was great. Absolutely brilliant. This one, of course, has got the Avengers in as well. Lovely one there. Power Man. And, of course, the Enchantress. They were battling away. Captain America. Well, Captain Kirk could have been, maybe. He was, of course, they were all criminals, but, of course, he goes off and tries to sort things out. He's the leader of the kooky quartet, as they were called. Never like that. I really enjoyed those stories, though. Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye, and, of course, Captain America. They were just great. Perhaps not for everyone, because, of course, everyone felt at the time suddenly they were lowering the power of the thing. Now, obviously, again, this is split over in obviously next issue. Enough said, was always the way. Also, you've got this as well. Odd Sports, Boxing Kangaroos. They had some weird stuff in these things, didn't they? Baseball, cricket. Okay, maybe. And this one, I don't know if this has ever been reprinted. Don Star, I do not recall. A Don Star collection from Treasury of British Comics or anything. That would be good, wouldn't it? A Don Star collection. I don't know if they were in every issue. Maybe they were. Maybe they weren't. Also, it's got this, Tales of the Watcher. One that has not really been reprinted that well or that often, as far as I'm concerned. So I would love to see, I mean, they weren't, most of the time, they weren't really great stories. It basically, the Watcher would just stand there and sort of say, oh, we can't do this or we can't do that. And, of course, other people would attack him or whatever, or you would see the mistakes that we make and then he'd disappear off into the rest of the universe. That sort of thing. Which, of course, he probably does all the time. And there is, he's shown an sample of his power. You've learned to harness the energy of your own blood cells, etc., etc. A worthy achievement. But he's got to go off. He's got to do something else. He's got some post to post. And there he is. He's sort of threatened. And, of course, there's a twist at the end, which I'm not going to show. But on to the next one, which is, of course, Kaloo. And also you've got the list. I love these ones. News from the floor of 64. And also the annuals. And the great thing about this annual, it's got here the Marvel Storybook Annual. And that was one that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago in one of my reviews. And it's got all the list of, obviously, Spider-Man, the Hulk, Submariner, etc., etc. So that came out at the same time as, like, the Phantom, Flash Gordon, also the Saint, Bonanza, Tarzan, All-Stars Football, Man from U.N.C.L.E. Oh, that would be a good one. Space Family Robinson Annual. All 10 and 6. They were all 10 and 6. Good price. I don't know if I got those ones. I'm certain some of those I might have got. Don't know. World Distributors. And then you've also got the good old Doctor Strange story. I just love that. I must flee to the dimension beyond something. Classic. On 9 old pennies. 9 old pennies that was. Then this one, Beowulf. Whatever, how you ever say it. This was issue 1. It's just sort of, I didn't know anything about the stories. Actually, I don't think these have been reprinted. They might have been, but I don't think so. So this one just caught my eye and I thought, you know what? Doesn't look too bad, the story. And it was reasonably priced. So I thought, yes, I will get a copy of that. And I love just picking up these ones. Just sort of think, you know what? I haven't read that before. And there's lots of ones obviously mentioned there. All those I think I have actually read over the years. But this one, I hadn't. So I was really pleased to pick this up. And maybe might pick up some more issues. I don't know how many they actually printed of that. And my favourite, Kazar, whatever his name is. And you got here, battling away at Claw. I think he battled Claw quite a few times. And you got Combat with Claw. And some great artwork all the way through here. And you've got Claw, obviously, with looks a bit like John Carter, I thought, when I saw it, the Martians from that. But still, you got there, and you've got some more pages there. They're great little stories. Again, and just suddenly reminded me, I did the Most Wanted Omnibuses, and that one I didn't mention either. It's always when you do these videos, afterwards you think, why did I forget that one? Because that's another one I would love to see. That's never been reprinted. I mean, they've done some of the astonishing ones. They've done bits and pieces. But these ones, I think they've got Marvel Masterworks, but they haven't been put into an omnibus edition. Though, I guess the Astonishings haven't either. So, this one, Sword of Sorcery, another one of these weird ones, which this one has reprinted, I'm quite certain, because I've got the paperback book of that one. I think that's just great. I never can say their names, so I'm not even going to say it. Farad and the Grey Mouser. Revenge of the Skull of Jules, apparently. And this one was from 1973. Lovely little story. Great artwork as well. Always wonderful to pick up one of those sort of issues. And they had quite a pile of these ones, Sword of Sorcery. So I thought, that was issue number 2, 20 cents. It was great. And another guitar. Again, Claw. The only trouble is, quite often with these ones, I don't often have a list of all numbers I've got or haven't got. And I've got quite a few now, these ones, but there's still a few gaps. So I must remember now, I've started to pick most of them up. I'll probably start accidentally getting the same issue again. So I'm just going to have to definitely check when I go and try and look for the other issues. Though I've never seen an issue 1. Can't say I've ever seen an issue 1 of this one. So it's one of those ones that there's certain issues that you just don't seem to turn up that often. And this was a very pleasant surprise. Now, I shouldn't really show this because now maybe everyone else go, oh, you know what, that's an issue worth picking up. Rocky Lane Western. I've seen tons of these copies. They turn up all the time at various comic marts. And I think, I'm not really into that. No. I thought, well, this time it was, again, reasonable price. You can see it's a slightly battered copy. I picked it up. I thought, well, what a lovely issue. Really, really quirky, sort of unusual things. And I love these sort of westerns are great. And this one, you got the Rocky Lane story there. Great artwork as well. Really, really good. Obviously, this one is from Fawcett. And X marks the spot. So let's just turn over a bit. It's got some other stories. It's got about 5 or 6 stories in this. And I just love the artwork. And also the stories are great. This one, D. Dickens and the Doctor's Dilemma. Just great comedy ones. I love those sort of ones. And also Rocky Lane, the Bridge of Death. Boom! The end of Rocky Lane. Well, this was issue whatever it was. I suspect there were a few more issues, so I think they were a bit optimistic there. Gopher Face, the Mad Hatter. And also this one, which was a great little story, Romeo and Julie. Just lovely. Just really good artwork. I just love that 1950s, this is 51, artwork that time. Maybe not for everyone, but I thoroughly enjoyed Death's Hoax as well. Great, again, a lovely little story. And of course, you've got the old, always have to have those. Oh, one trouble with getting, of course, a 1951 comic, you just look down and notice that there's a pile of brown paper everywhere. So it's just gone off all over the keyboard and all over me as well. Now, on to some other things. And I'm going to save the best till last. That's always the way, isn't it? Best to save that. And actually, you can see the best behind me on the other shoulder. Whatever shoulder, the other one, that shoulder. This one I got, and I'm going to do an omnibus run through the mighty. So I've got volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3, and volume 4. I love this. Great story. Now, I've got them all in Epic, so I've not read loads of these stories. These are the comics that I picked up when I first started to collect Thor. So I thoroughly enjoyed them all. The 209, I think, was the first Thor that I ever bought, and I just loved it. Though I'd read lots of Thors before that. For some weird reason, my local fish and chip shop used to have tons of Thors, and they would use it for wrapping paper for comics, so for the fish and chips. So I quite often read lots and lots of Thor comics before I ever actually started to pick up Thor. But it was always a great exposure to Thor, so it was I loved that. So it was nice to actually pick up the comics and actually read the stories properly, have the whole story instead of just about 2 or 3 pages, which quite often you got the case. Now, with this, some great little tales, and I especially loved well, I especially loved all, obviously you had the Galactus story there, and also the Hercules story as well. That was a great one. And also Loki one, that was quite a special haunted Halloween one. Maybe one to pick up and read, of course, with Halloween coming up fairly soon. Also Pluto and a few other, and of course the End of the World. You always have to have those stories. I think they did that story. Odin, well, I'm going to review it a bit later, but Odin, of course, is to die or whatever as usual. I don't know how many times Odin was dying or in his Odin sleep. Whenever anything was happening, he was off dying or off in a sleep, and then he, of course, mysteriously turns up again and saves them. Or, of course, Thor always helps it to make it. But this is a great story. And also you had these great Sif as well, of course. And I love that storyline. I always felt they could have done more with that, having separate storylines. Of course, they would have had to have a separate comic, I guess, but they were always good little tales. Of course, you had the Warriors 3. That was a sort of one spin-off. And, of course, you got there, obviously, there's Odin, of course, come back to save everything when Pluto is, no, my insane destiny has been thwarted, etc., etc. And some more of the stories there. And, of course, Mephisto, etc. I'm certain Odin was probably under threat in that as well. And also the four-dimensional man. Always thought that was impressive. Four-dimensional. I don't think he wasn't most impressive of villains, but there you got. See, that was issue 209. I think that was the one with Stonehenge. He was in the UK at that point. And, of course, the four-dimensional man again. I think there he is. And hail Odin, etc. Hail Thor. I think he probably turned up again just in the nick of time. This, of course, got some extras as well. Really lovely little volume. I wonder if they're going to bring out, I assume, that volume 5 will come out soon enough. So that's there, volume 4. Just got this one through the door. I haven't read through it. Weirdly, I should say, one of my favourite films. I quickly looked for this really great Lady Morgan's Vengeance. I love that film. Real brilliant. I mean, maybe not for everyone, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this one, Classics of Continental Horror Cinema, I really thought when I was flicking through it, I would find a reference to it. Weirdly, no mention at all. It is true. It's got every single Gothic thing you could ever imagine. I just don't know why it wasn't included, but I guess it couldn't include everything. But I always think there should be a section at the back where you sort of long list of all the things that also rans. But this has got lots and lots and lots of it. Obviously, you've got the famous one there, the Cabinet of Caligari, etc. And also, of course, loads of things from Spain, Italy, Hungary, probably. And you've got this one, which always throws me, Hitchcock. Not Hitchcock, but Hitchcock. I wonder which one if they called it that because of that. Also, you've got the Dance Macabre. And it's got, of course, sometimes there's always things with this. You go through it and there's different titles. There's always a ton of different titles. How confusing. Why didn't they just call it one title? But they didn't. They called it everything and everything. But this time it was the Cave of the Living Dead. I have no idea if you translate that. Does that say the Cave of the Living Dead? Maybe it does. I don't think that's a really great title particularly, but still. I guess they have to call it something. Actually, one of the films I just watched recently was just called Horror. I thought, that was not a great title at all. In fact, one of the worst titles. You can't imagine looking for a film called Horror Blu-ray. Really? I suppose they didn't think of it when they called it Horror, but it's just not a good title. It's so difficult. Lady Morgan's Vengeance, brilliant. You find it easily. And Ivana. I've never seen that. Now, that's one thing, of course, the worst thing about these books, and I love these books, is that you end up getting them and you start then thinking, that looks a great film. That looks good. And then you sometimes find that there's copies around of the Blu-rays or 4Ks or DVDs. And sometimes you find there are no copies of any of these films and you think, really? Why, oh why, has no one ever brought some of these out? I know there's licensing reasons and everything else, but it's you think, they sound great. You think this one, Exorcist variant. I don't know about that one. Maybe that one. I don't know what it's called. Don't know. And this one, I know that one. Seen that one. Vampire one there. That's a great picture there. And Shock, Mario Bava. Brilliant. I love Mario Bava. And of course, you've got good old Kirk Douglas there, Holocaust 2000. One I have never seen. I don't know what it's like. Probably pretty rubbishy. Maybe not. Another zombie one. Zombie 2. I think it was Zombie 3 as well. Oh, there probably was. That one with the guy hanging. Remember that one? The priest. That was a very weird story. Euro Gothic. Really worth picking. Apparently, there's also an American Gothic one and also a British Gothic one. Now, I might not go for the American one. I don't know. But the British Gothic, I will probably be looking out for. I thoroughly think this is just brilliant. What I've done, I've just been flicking through it, looking for various films, and I think definitely great. Great little book. On to the Blu-rays. This one, I don't know. I just picked this off a table. I think this is probably the Countdown. It's very good though. I don't know actually the quality. It might be terrible. So when I put it on, I'll be going, maybe that wasn't the best to purchase. But you can see there it's got various things, UFO music videos, Investigator, Captain Scott, pilot episode show. Now these are sort of things you think, wow, Space 1999 extended pilot episode. Now I've got the obviously, pilot episode of Space 1999, the obviously the Breakaway. But then I've got the extended version. Maybe that's the film. I don't know. But plus the first 12 issues of the original Countdown comic. That would be nice, actually, in all various volumes of those sort of things. The Shadow Girls, and also The Day After Tomorrow, Into Infinity. Still intending to get the Blu-ray of that at some point. Did enjoy it when it came out. On to Body Stealers. I haven't opened. You can see some of these I haven't opened yet. I haven't watched everything. Generally, I always keep them still wrapped until I actually get around to actually watching them. And that's a big clue that I've actually watched them, is that it's been done. The Body Stealers. I don't think this is a great film, but it's one of the Tygon films. I thought, as part of a collection, I'm going to get this one. 88 films, looking forward to watching it, but somehow I suspect that it's not great. It's a science fiction. Paratroopers begin to go missing during routine jumps. Investigators are sent to shed some light on the mystery. However, things get complicated very quickly when an alien invasion plot is discovered. This little-known 60s British science fiction flick from Tygon, the company it bought, Witchfinder General, etc. So, I'm not expecting miracles from that, but I'm looking forward to it. Candle for the Devil. This sounds good. I saw quite often when I go on YouTube, and YouTube's a curse because you go on there, that looks a good film. That one I'm going to check out. This one is a 1970s piece of exploitation cinema, bristling with dark tension and giallo-style overtones. Blu-ray. It may be good, maybe not. Most films of this type of films I generally enjoy. You can always find something in most of them, so this should be quite good. 1972, I guess, that sort of time. Doesn't look like... it's got a fair amount of extras anyway. So that should be good. Next one. This was good. And I have to say, I didn't know anything about this. I was actually looking for the Dennis Posse one. Why they haven't brought that one? Was it Black Eyes? It's Black Eyes, wasn't it? Black Eyes one on TV series. For some weird reason, that has not been brought out on Blu-ray or anything like that. Or even, I don't even, it's on DVD. It's just one of those ones you think, loads of Dennis Posse have been brought out, Pennies from Heaven, etc. All those ones. But, for some weird reason, Black Eyes hasn't. I've obviously got Gina Bellman. Now, also, because of this, I ended up picking up copies of The Coupling, which is one of my favourite TV series of a few years ago. I love that, and I'm just going to... No, I haven't got them all. I don't know, I can't remember. I think it was 4 seasons. But I noticed online someone was selling copies, obviously season 1, 2 and 3 for a reasonable price. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get those. So Coupling, great little series. I just loved this one when it was out. DVD, of course. Don't think they're available on Blu-ray. But just brilliant. One of the funniest, most beautiful observed comedies of the year. And I definitely agree with that. I am looking forward to rewatching many of those. Of course, a lot of these are on various channels. I don't know which one. Probably on, there's Rewind TV. There's loads and loads of channels. I'm certain Coupling is probably available, probably even on iPlayer. I don't know. But still. This one looks weird. I just suddenly saw, again, one of these ones, YouTube reviews. I thought, you know what, that looks great. Death Game, the object is to stay alive. Well, that's a good thing. This is Blu-ray again. And Sandra Locke, and relentless, painful and violent film, etc., etc. Grindhouse releasing is proud to present the ultimate 1970s psychological thriller, etc., etc. Death Game is being presented for the first time on home video in its original, etc., etc. 4K original camera negative. And it's got some special features, etc. So, looking forward to watch that. The review was great. All the various bits and pieces I've seen since about it look great. So, I am definitely looking forward to that. Double Face. Why did I buy this? I'm not a fan of Karl Kinski. I know a lot of people love him. but I've just never been a fan of his work. But the woman that was in Lady Morgan's Vengeance is in this. So I thought, yes. So whether it's going to be any good, the review again, all the various trailers I've seen of it, it looks excellent. So hopefully it is as good as what I've seen. Post-war years, proliferation of transnational European co-productions give rise to a cross-pollination of genres, etc., etc. So there's a whole mix of crimi, giallo, and tons of other stuff as well. So it should be good. Hopefully it's going to be thoroughly enjoyable. Always just shaking it just then. Sometimes you hear the disc sort of move up and down. Then you know you have to actually open it up and quickly fix that issue. Lust for a Vampire. I've been collecting a lot of these recently. I love these sort of series that are all uniform design. Hopefully lots of the other Hammer ones that come out will be similar. Got lots of good reviews about this one. I remember seeing it years and years and years and years ago. It's got Ralph Bates in, and of course lots of other, and you got that as well, new featurettes. As I say, 1830s, 40 years today since the last manifestation of the dreaded vampirism. The Carstine, good old Carstines again. Oh, that was great. I love that one. The heirs use the blood of an innocent to bring forth the evil that is the beautiful Makala. I guess that's Makala on the front. So that's one to look forward to. And I picked this one up in my local charity shop. Agent Carter, the complete first season. I loved Agent Carter. Great series set in the 1940s, 50s, 1946. Peggy Carter, of course, Captain America, etc. Hayley Atwell, who's great, absolutely brilliant. And you got here reeling from the loss of Steve Rogers, Captain America, obviously. But now the war is over and she's, of course, involved in various missions. Great little series. Of course, you've got a mix there with, obviously, Iron Man's father as well. I thoroughly enjoyed that series. Brilliant. I don't know if Season 2 is available. There was a Season 2, wasn't there? This just popped through the letterbox. Wow. Okay, it didn't pop. I got a knock on the door. No one could push that through the letterbox. But this one, of course, is Silver Surfer, the massive Taschen one. I was half minds about getting that one. But I finally bought it because they put a special offer on. I thought, oh, okay, I will get this one. Now, the only one I haven't got now is the Avengers Volume 2. I don't know if they're going to bring any more out. I must admit, one I'm looking forward to, and I'm still a bit not sure if I'm going to get it or not, because it's a rabbit hole that I probably will go down, and I imagine many EC fans will as well, and that's the Weird Science, because Taschen are going to be bringing out EC comics in the same format as this. It's going to be amazing, but many ways I wish that they would bring these out in smaller volumes. The obviously original comic size would be so much nicer, because this is just too heavy, but they're still brilliant and I love them. So I'm just going to show you the book, and I'm just moving out of the way there, and I will be reviewing it a bit more later, but I'm not going to show every single page of this, or even that many pages, but just quickly go through it. It's a quality book. I mean, it's got the Beach Boys in it, as you would. And of course, you've got there some Fantastic Four as well. It's got a great little introduction. It's also got some absolutely glorious inked pages there. Not too many. The only disappointment quite often is this section. I do not know why they include these. Just wasted pages as far as I'm concerned. I just don't know. Maybe they could put a few more ink pages, surely. But there it is. The original, of course, comic book there. Just stunning. It's beautiful quality. Now, the one thing about this, of course, is the Silver Surfer, issue 1, 2, 3, 4. You're probably going to find really superb quality comics of this. It must be. In comparison with Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, the really early ones. Now, I suspect there are some great ones for those. But the thing is, when you got to this stage, 1968, lots of people would have been collecting these and keeping these in pristine condition, I would imagine. So these things like the Silver Surfer, they're going to be in great editions like this. I think this is, so the quality of these ones are just absolutely amazing. You've got there the Badoon there, just super quality. The only trouble with this book, and you can see, you really have to, it's really great for if you want to do some gym exercises, lifting things up. I'm just going to pop over to the gym in a sec. I don't need to now, do I? I can just lift, do tricep, all that sort of stuff, bicep, all those sort of things. With this, who knows? No. But it also got all the adverts as well. I just love this book, but it does weigh a lot. And it's just full of some great stories. Really superb volume. Now, of course, one thing always with these things, you can see it does easily mark, but it's a book to read. And it's a quality book. These are just quality books. I just really hope that Taschen keep bringing more of them out. Whether I buy every single one of them, possibly not. But the Silver Surf stories were ones that I really loved. Issue 1 to 18, absolutely superb. Not every issue, there's a few slightly duff ones, but most are really some of the best, I thought, of Marvel, certainly in the 60s anyway. Well, also, what I'd love to see, and I thought about this a bit earlier, I thought, you know what would be brilliant from Taschen? Not Holy Grail, that would be weird, wouldn't it? A Grail edition of like all the top comics you could ever imagine. Hulk 181, those sort of things, Daredevil 1, whatever. There's certain issues that most comic book fans would say, that's the issue that I would love to possess. You know, Avengers #1, you run through your own mind the list of comics that would be just brilliant to be into this format. So you could have 20 comics in here of those sort of Grail issues that everyone wants to have in their collection. But probably now, because of the ridiculous prices, and they could do one if they ever did a special deal with, say, DC. They could, of course, put in loads of brilliant DC ones where there's lots of, obviously, classics that come to mind for that as well. So that would be nice. Also, a Golden Age one. I'm surprised I haven't brought... Now, I don't particularly want to see a Captain America full... I mean, it's possible. But actual Golden Age stories, say... 2 or 3 Captain Americas, 2 or 3 Human Torch ones, Submariner, some Marvel Mystery Comics, a few other ones, USA Comics, and those sort of ones probably from the Atlas period maybe as well. They could bring out a volume, a real hefty volume like this of those, and that would be an amazing collection. Whether it's going to happen, who knows, but it's just a dream you think, that would be a brilliant, because they're ridiculously expensive. A copy of Marvel Mystery Comics, Marvel Comics #1 in here, in this format, would be absolutely amazing. Obviously, Action Comics #1 comes to mind as well. Of course, if they ever did DC one, you know, All-Star Comics #3, and those sort of things. Really best quality possible ones they could ever put, but in a huge volume like this would be amazing. Anyway, other than that, that is all the ones that I've been through. So I haven't. Sometimes when I buy these things, I think, maybe bought a few too many things, but still, when it comes to Comic Mart, I love the Comic Mart, and I do have a tendency to go up to Comic Mart, but other people you see buying lots more. So this is great. I'm really pleased. I'm going to have a lot of reading to do over the next couple of weeks with all these various comics, and especially this book. I'm just going to look forward to sit down and read this in a short while as well. Hope you found this of interest. Please put some comments about which things you've bought this week. Which ones great things you've been buying? Have you bought any really amazing issues that you think, yes, or books that you found that you think, you know what, that is an amazing book, and everyone else, of course, collecting comics would love to see as well. Always great to hear about those. Anyway, bye.